Yeah. What? Like you like bound.
Branch. I am.
Yeah, I can.
Could you do that? And then could you go into the?
I also felt like I was like weirdly close to the center there, so I'm cool with
Oh no,
that.
my leg.
Oh, this speaks through camera. Oh, there we go. Okay.
See,
I like
there.
that, yes.
Oh, god damn it.
I know. Like the camera works me if I see. Yeah, if I'm
So
seeing
I don't think there's any mention of it. If there isn't, I'm interpreting it to say that I will drop
You
it the
can.
lowest.
Does the
You
winner need 60% or?
60% for the one to get
That was
elected.
amazing. I was
I know.
like, what is going
Is
on?
it of the
The acoustics in
elected
this
or
room
of
are
the
amazing.
full 32?
That's
like,
up for
like,
me
and,
to interpret.
It's like in Grand Central Station in New York. There's what they call the whisper walls.
I'll
Because like
probably
if you
do
go to one
everyone
corner
who's
and then another
seated,
person
so
goes to
everyone who's
another corner,
elected.
you whisper into the
there's
wall
like-
and they hear it on the other
That
side.
changes the vote count.
7.
That changes the
That
vote count.
brings it at 25.
And 60% of 25.
Is it 60% or is it 2/3? Because if it's 2/3,
It is 2/3, it's 60.
if it's 2/3, that's 66%.
It is 66%. YB.
I think it's 2/3.
It said 60% in the email.
I swear it's 60%.
Did I say 60%?
It said 60%
I
like
think
on
you said
the,
wrong, Roshan.
it's like on the
On the
form.
form?
Yeah, I think so.
Can you check?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 66.
Yeah, can you just check and then let me know? Thank you so much.
Yeah, because John and I had this conversation.
Did you send me the oath?
I can do that right now.
Thank you. I don't know what I'd do without you.
Unfortunately, I'd be out of order doing that, and I don't want Roshit kicking me out.
I will kick you out if you're out of order.
Okay, this guy just said if he gets really nervous and starts shaking, to slap the blank out of him.
I don't know what he's doing.
Say that again.
So student wages will be going up.
This guy said if he gets really
Your
nervous.
last name.
Wait,
Is
there,
do we get new
Oh, okay. So I was talking to the bookstore manager and I didn't think they had decided the decision or not yet.
Rackenauer.
Got a new one.
Charles?
My alter.
How are you doing?
I was like, okay, let me ask.
Surprised you didn't run for speaker.
What?
I believe this is
I decided not to, I'm running for recorder.
Hey Jack.
Yeah?
Wanna come up to get your placard?
What?
Your placard.
Oh, let's go at 2 now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Well, the old one was for your old Senate.
Okay.
I should tell everyone to bring their placards and then we can sign off.
Thank you, Andrew. I applied for that coordinator position.
Yes,
Yeah.
people have applications.
Yeah.
Lee!
Yes, come on in, man.
Flag. Okay.
Did you fold yours?
yours.
Yeah.
Hi, John.
Oh,
Oh,
John.
I know, and it makes everything more legit.
Lee. John.
Let's go.
It seems so fancy when you first start student government and after a while it's like, yeah, this is a battered piece of paper. So sorry.
Good, how are you?
I'm astonished that like on some level that they're having this.
You said nothing open. That's what they told me.
It's not Eric. If I already get
No, there's no students at the front desk, so I
is
had
it
to go back.
Son or Zon?
Yeah.
I'm learning.
Zone?
Sorry, Andrew.
You're all good.
You should be
actually
Yeah, that's what me and Landon thought too.
I didn't think you were being
I can
serious.
go there
thank you.
after.
I'll
email
Lindsay
Nelson Okay.
And then, hey John, did Geppert say no?
Yes, he's not gonna be living on campus.
Yeah.
I guess Andrew, I gotta step out real,
You can sit wherever.
I gotta step out real
Oh, I
quick.
could sit
I got locked out.
Don't sit at the gallery, just sit at the table wherever.
She said, start implementing.
But I don't have the authenticator app on my phone, so I have to just call IT and be like, hey.
Not going home and like that night thing.
Yeah, I called them earlier.
Oh, that fold felt good. I think it's
We can take it, you can sit back. You can sit right back at the Yeah.
I saw the lightning cord. 13, so we done with it.
Oh, I thought you were gonna move, I thought like next year you were gonna sit in that seat.
I'll see what happens.
Hello,
Hey,
just sit wherever.
What's
Grab
up?
your name card and sit wherever.
Yes.
you remind me of like
You still have your
me
name card
of
from
people
last year?
playing like Monopoly when they have their
Yeah, last Senate. Yes, we have a
Yeah,
second
last
for you
Senate.
if we could find it. Like this whole time.
You got this. You got this. You got this.
I got this.
Obviously you don't. You said if you get really nervous, it's gonna smack the beep out of you, but.
Their hours are later than I expected, so it's.
What's up? I'm excited. Outfits.
That's how you like the tour?
Athens? Athens, Greece. We're going to Europe.
I promoted the heck out of the university. In 2 weeks.
So sick. I'm excited for the museums.
Who made that?
No,
These land. No, go to the go to the.
I've 30 to say.
Question
Oh,
whether that's.
It was Landon actually.
thank you. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Say it out loud, because at the end of the day, there might be some.
They're 12:55. Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, it's the internship technically starts the 27th of next May, but they're letting me come in a week later
This was clearly a plan.
because I told them.
At least she brought popcorn too.
They said it was flexible, so instead of having an actual week, I'll probably just ask Saturdays, because there's like times where you can ask, hey, can I come in Saturday?
Stay hydrated.
That's, continue. But there's times where you can ask the manager, hey, can I come in Saturdays? So, but I'm gonna be like, hey, I wanna learn as much as I can I come Saturday? And then, that's how I'm gonna sell it at least.
Doing all the things.
Yes, trying to. I like to pattern my schedules, but well, it's kind of a bad habit or a good habit at the same time.
I think overall it's a good thing. You don't
It's tiring.
accomplish everything, you accomplish a bunch of stuff.
Exactly.
The less bored we are as people.
Honey, you're not a senator anymore. You can sit in the gallery though.
Oh, yeah.
You have any struggles with mental health, busier you are.
Alrighty, folks, it is 4:01 and I call this meeting to order. Before we get started with the meeting, I'd like to read out the land recognition statement. Student government acknowledges that we live, work, and learn in the homeland of Dakota people, whose language frames our institution's name, Minnesota State University, Mankato. We'll get moving with the roll call. And I'd like you to either say present or here, however you feel comfortable. I'll be sitting out your last name. Senator Leon. Senator Miucci. Present. Senator Hyber.
Here.
Senator Kebede. Senator Narula. Senator Dietrich.
Here.
Senator Morris.
Here.
Senator Reyes.
Here.
Senator Sharaf. Senator Nguyen. Nguyen? Here. Senator Anderson. Senator Cummings. Senator Smith.
Here.
Senator Hodge.
Here.
Senator Orjova. Senator Knauer.
Here.
Senator Johnson.
Here.
Senator Stitch. Senator Riggle.
Here.
Senator Hillstead.
Present.
Senator Zone.
Here.
Senator Ide.
Present.
President Colleran.
Present.
Vice President Kafle.
Present.
And the speaker office is vacant. At this time, I would request anyone who was not present for the inauguration of the 93rd Student Senate to please stand up. So if you weren't present for the inauguration. Sweet. We will not be doing the oath of office since all of you were very diligently present for the inauguration. We'll get moving with the agenda. Before we get started and head on to the approval of the consent agenda, I'd like to take a moment and talk a little bit about how we run our student government meetings. All of you should have your name cards in front of you, and we'll be using name cards for recognizing you guys, unless the chair of the meeting recognizes you, you are not allowed to speak and you will be called out of order. For you to be recognized, please raise your placard. You can either have it hold it on your hand or you can have it lifted up right in front of you. And the chair for for half of this meeting, that will be me, until all of you collectively elect a speaker later today. We'll be following Robert's Rules of Order for most of the things, and we'll also be following student government operating procedures to run the Senate meetings. All of those are available on our SharePoint platforms that you're able to access. At any given point, if you have any questions, feel free to either raise your hand or your placard to raise a point of personal privilege to ask any questions. We will be voting for the Speaker of the Student Senate later today. And it will be a closed ballot voting where you will be writing down your votes on a piece of paper. We'll get more into that when we get to the elections portion of our meeting later today. And we'll be talking more about Robert's Rules of Order, how the speaker would run the meeting and everything else later on as you start your terms as well. But I think that should cover the general expectations for today. Any questions that you might have before we get moving with the agenda? At any given point, if you are intending to make a motion, we would need a motion and a second. And if you are dissenting to anything, you can just raise your placard and state your dissents as well. Awesome. So there's those. We'll be moving on to the approval of the consent agenda. At this time, I will see if there are any dissents to the consent agenda. Any dissents to the, Senator Ide?
Point of clarification, for those unaware, could you just kind of describe what like dissent means? When I first joined, I didn't even know what it meant.
Absolutely. For when we say the term dissent, you're essentially having an objection to everything that's on the consent agenda or anything that is being discussed. It might be dissenting because you might want to add something, you might want to remove some of the things, you might want to amend some things that are present either within the consent agenda, within the resolution, or within the motion that we're discussing. So if there are any changes that you're recommending that we discuss or that we consider as a Senate, that is when you would be dissenting to it. At this point, since we're at the approval of the consent agenda, what we request is that you look through the agenda items and then see everything that are within the consent agenda, and then that follows after for the rest of the meeting. If you would like to make any changes to the agenda, please let me write it down. I'll see if there are any dissents. One final time. Seeing none, assuming unanimous consent, the agenda is so approved. We'll be moving forward with open forum, and I'll try to see if there is anyone here for open forum. Anyone for open forum? Seeing none, we'll be moving forward. We don't have a dean of the day for our initial meeting, so we'll be moving forward. There aren't any presentations scheduled for this meeting. We'll be moving forward over to officer reports, first with President Colleran.
Okay, this agenda's moving fast. Okay, so I want to say congratulations to y'all for being part of 93rd Senate. I really look forward to working with y'all. I just can't wait to see what we do next academic year and its next couple of weeks. So I do want to dive into a couple things. Like for the next Senate meetings, we'll be doing officer reports. So I'll be reporting by the president, vice president, and whoever may be the speaker. So I'll try to keep my own report short, simple, but I also want to give as much information as I can. So if you want to ask any questions, you want me to elaborate on anything, please don't be afraid to ask questions for me. So yeah, so I'll dive right into it. So I have a lot to cover in this first meeting and everything. So first things first is possible positions for next academic year. So while there's a lot of positions in this organization, I don't want to focus on coordinator positions. So coordinator positions are a little more intense center positions, and they have a little more specific scope. So I'm opening applications that have been open all week last week. I'll continue to be open until April 30th, until I want to say 9 p.m. Those specific positions are academic affairs coordinator, student affairs coordinator, PR marketing coordinator, diversity, equity, inclusion coordinator, basic needs coordinator, legislative affairs coordinator, and sustainability coordinator. So if you have absolutely any interest in those kind of prospects or positions, I'm more than happy to just see your input on it, and you have to receive applications sometime next week over Mass Central. And looking into the future of summer, we will have a Senate meeting next week as well. But beyond that, we're also doing a leadership retreat. So every summer, week before classes begin, a lot of student groups that are highly intensive in leadership will be looking into preparing for the next academic year at overnight camp. So I do want you to mark your calendars for August 17th and August 18th. That'll be when our leadership retreat is. I'll be happy to see as much attendance as I can. I'll provide a lot more details on it next week during my next officer report. So I just want to get that on your calendars. I'll provide more details then. But we do have a couple more events happening across this academic year still. Our lovely legislative affairs coordinator that's going for 92nd Senate is running town hall on next Friday, May 2nd, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. That'll be in the student government office. I'll be covering topics that are affecting the student body right now and next academic year as well, namely the academic portfolio reevaluation. And final note on my end, I want to have a conversation with y'all. I do want to just talk with y'all and be a resource as much as I can because there's so many resources in student government. So I'll be holding fixed office hours for the rest of the semester on every Tuesday and every Wednesday from 12 to 2 p.m. and also after every Senate meeting. So if you want to just ask any questions, have burning questions, burning ideas, or just want to sit with me for a chat, I'm more than happy to. So that's everything I have. I want to say congratulations to y'all again, and I look forward to working with y'all.
Awesome, thank you, President Colleran. At this time, I open it up to any questions. Any questions? Seeing none, we'll be moving forward. Vice President Kafle.
Hi everyone. First of all, welcome to the first Senator meeting of 93rd Student Government. Just a few updates on what we did after the inauguration. So this week we met with Vice President Jones for pre-meet and confer and set the agenda for meet and confer, which will happen on the 1st of May. That day, President Colleran and I will meet the President's Cabinet. This meet and confer will also be assisted by 92nd Student Government President, Vice President, and Speaker. And I am excited to for next year as we plan these meetings with our upcoming cabinet. With that, the cabinet vacancies are open for all of you to apply. Please apply as soon because it will close on April 30th. Moreover, we have 7 senators seats left, 1 College of Allied Health and one College of Science, Engineering and Technology, 3 College of Allied Health and Nursing, and 3 Res Life. Moreover, we also met with Provost Hood and Vice Provost Muzelli to talk about academic portfolio planning and some mechanism to ensure that all the students are receiving information. Tomorrow, we will be meeting with Mr. Kawan to talk about the initial parking and bus routes with City of Mankato representatives. And over summer, we will talk about a few of Senator projects, and we will not bug you guys a lot over the summer. We will also decorate the student government office. So if anybody is interested, please come and reach out to me because I will be handling that side. And we'll just send you guys information and keep everyone in.
Awesome. At this time, I'll see if there are any questions for Vice President Kafle. Any questions? Seeing none, we'll be moving forward, and since there is no speaker for today, we will be getting into the vacancies and the vacancy elections for the speaker. At this point, I ask if there are any members in the gallery or at the Senate that have applied for the position of the Speaker of the 93rd Student Government. Any candidates? If you would so, please come up to the podium. Awesome. Thank you so much for applying. Senate, you should have received applications of all of the 3 candidates who have applied for the position of Speaker. There were a couple of questions initially that they have answered that you can take a look at as you consider all 3 of their applications. For those of you who are new to the elections process, here is how this is going to go. Each of these candidates are going to have 2 minutes of opening statement opportunities, and we'll go around for each one of them. After their opening statement, it opens up to any questions. So all of you are eligible to ask questions to the candidates, and we ask that you direct the questions relating to all 3 of them, so all 3 of them are able to answer the questions equally. Once you're done asking questions, each one of the candidates will receive 2 minutes for their closing statements, and then the Senate enters into a period of discussion about the candidates. Please ensure that your comments are particularly related to the candidate's ability to run the position and not any personal comments whatsoever related to the candidates. Any questions before we get started, either by the Senate or by the candidates? Awesome, we'll make sure that we go around and I'll try to make sure that we give each and every one of you an opportunity. But whenever you're ready, whoever wants to go first with their opening statement. I'll let you guys work it out amongst yourselves.
Hello, my name is Ben Livingston, and I'm a first-year student double majoring in urban regional studies and public policy with a minor in economics, and today I stand before you as a candidate for speaker. If elected, I will lead the Senate with 3 guiding principles: collaboration, innovation, and adaptability, not just as values, but as tools for action. Collaboration has shaped how I approach my work in the Senate, building coalitions, encouraging dialogue, and seeking common ground across diverse perspectives. I believe our best work happens when we're willing to listen, learn, and lead together. That is why, as a speaker, I will strive to always have an open door for senators who need help or ideas or just want to chat. I will also push to create a centralized contact and resource list to enable senators to streamline communications so they can effectively carry out their work. Innovation drives my desire to reimagine how we do the work. Whether it's rethinking internal processes or finding new ways to engage students in our work and conversations, I want to bring creativity and bold thinking to the table, pushing us beyond how it's always been done. This is why in the last Senate, I advocated for an online platform for student government to help facilitate votes, organize agendas, and allow individuals to schedule meetings with our legal services. With busy schedules and evolving needs, adaptability is essential for maximizing our potential. We need leadership that can respond quickly and effectively while staying grounded in purpose. This means allowing more flexibility regarding attendance, office hours, and much more without sacrificing the thorough nature of our work. In this role, I aim to be a fair and impartial guide, upholding our rules with integrity while also making sure our processes are inclusive, efficient, and open to all. To me, the Senate is and always should be a place where collaboration fuels connection, innovation sparks progress, and adaptability ensures we grow with the challenges ahead. I've been proud to work alongside peers who care deeply about this community and campus, and I'm committed to helping us build something even better together. Thank you, and I humbly ask for your vote.
Thank you so much. Whoever would like to go second.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. A lot of familiar faces. I hope everybody knows me. For those who don't know me, my name is Dikshant Thapa. I am a computer engineering student here at Minnesota State University Mankato. I currently serve as the chair for Sustainability Fee Committee, where I lead the review and recommendation process for Campus Sustainability Project. I also had the honor of representing College of Science, Engineering, and Technology as a senator in the 92nd student government as well. What drives me is the passion for clear communication, inclusive collaboration, and effective leadership. I've participated in more than 15 Model United Nations, receiving best delegates at over 7, and had the privilege of chairing and co-chairing multiple sessions. These are the experiences that sharpen my ability to guide structured debate and keep diverse conversation focused and respectful. As a facility manager at esports facility under IT Solutions, I manage a diverse, high energetic team and run daily operations that require coordination, accountability, and a lot of patience, which are all essential qualities for a speaker as well. If elected, I ensure Senate meetings are efficient, fair, and follow Robert's Rule of Order. I will reach out to all coordinators and ensure that they report to Senate at least twice per semester. And I will also use Microsoft Teams to keep track of office hours, just like Senator Youngberg did. I will also remind senators to stay engaged and accountable. And most importantly, I'll plan to meet with each and every one of you individually to support your senator project and serve as a very respectful resource.
I believe Speaker's job is more than keeping time.
It's about building trust, creating space, and voice to be heard.
And making sure that the work we do serve the student we stand for. This is the kind of leadership
I've committed to bringing in here, and I kindly request your vote. Thank you.
Whenever you're ready.
I don't know. Okay. All right. I'm excited to be here to begin the 93rd Student Government Session. My name is Alexis Smith. I'm a political science major, and I'm going to be a senior this year. And as you can see, I'm running to serve as your speaker. I am running against two very qualified senators. However, being a non-traditional student, I believe sets me apart in the sense that, sorry. However, being a non-traditional student sets me apart and helps me approach any and all situations with an open mind and a kind heart. Over the past year, I've had the privilege of working alongside many of you in the student government. I know we have some new faces in the room today, and I want to take a moment to welcome you all. Whether a returning senator or new to your role, I'm looking forward to collaborating with each and every one of you to make this year meaningful for our entire student body. As we move forward, if elected, I will work to ensure our meetings are well organized, transparent, and efficient so you can focus on what matters, supporting your constituents. I also believe in supporting each of you and creating a space where your ideas can thrive no matter your experience level. Also, since I'm a bit older than most everyone in this room and put off a bit of a mom vibe, well, it's because I am one, but you can find comfort in having me as your speaker. Some things I have been working on this past year as an at-large senator are the on-campus thrift store and the Move Out Day donation drive, which is set to launch just in a couple weeks here. These projects, along with my proactive, solution-driven leadership, and of course, all of you, are what make me the ideal candidate for speaker. If chosen as your speaker, my goal is to help build a stronger, very inclusive, and collaborative student government. Thank you, guys.
So if I could have Alexis come up, we'll have you answer the first question and then we'll go around. At this point, I ask any one of you at this table to raise your placards if you have any questions for all of the candidates, because we'll allow all of the candidates to answer the questions equally. Alrighty, Senator Riggle.
All right, I'm gonna start with a very, very simple one. Why do you want to be speaker?
Well, I just want to be speaker because I feel that, you know, as a senior and as being a part of the Senate this last year, that I can bring a lot to the table with not only being able to mediate situations and have an open-minded and open heart. I definitely feel that I can, you know, contribute in lots of different ways as far as experience. Just being older kind of helps set me apart in the sense that I know how to navigate tough situations, and yeah, so that's it. Do I sit down after my question?
We'll have Ben come up.
Thanks for the question, Senator Riggle. Just being able to be in the Senate for a year now and having the immense privilege to work alongside a lot of you in this room, I've seen the power our work can do, and so I want to be in a capacity where I can reform things to maximize our potential. I want to make sure we can have a productive Senate, and that means being a firm and fair enforcer of the rules. It means elevating voices. It means bringing everyone to the table, and so that's why I want to invite all of you into conversation with me and see what do you want to see in the Senate. How can we make this most impactful experience you can have so you can deliver for your constituents?
Thank you. Candidate Dikshant.
Thank you so much for the question, Senator.
Given the answer was already answered by both my fellow leaders here, as we all know, we all want Senate to be something that we thrive off. We want Senate to have this responsibility. We want Senate to represent the students better. The reason I'm trying to run for speaker is the very same as well. I would like to represent the students here in a better way. I'd like to make everything transparent so that everybody knows what they're getting into. And in the same way, I want to keep everything as well as possible. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll have you stay there so you're able to answer the next question. Senator Knauer.
My question is mainly on time management as it is a bigger role. This is a question for all of you. How do you plan to manage like other clubs, other organizations, work, school, all of that, while also being very effective in your role?
Thank you so much for the question again, Senator. I feel like I'm someone who really likes to thrive under pressure, I'd say. I've been doing this since quite a few times. I have had gathered some experience through various club activities, various organizations, various Model United Nations, or like stuff like that. I also believe that this is college. We all are students. We really want to thrive on what we love to do. This is something that I really like doing. I'd like to be able to represent people that I really care about. I would love to be able to put up front all the manners that I would like to see happen in university as well. And given the question about how I would manage my time, I'd say there are a few things that I handle well under pressure as well. And to be honest, I just think that it's something that I really love, and there's nothing more that I would not want to do this. So I just keep focusing on it. We are young, we have energy, we have power. So I just feel like we will be able to handle it very clearly. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll have candidate Smith come up.
Like yield to redundancy on that, but no. I'm going to state that we are all adults here. So with that being said, time management is something that we should all know how to do by now. I know that this past year I did miss some meetings. It was due to a personal family experience that was very tragic. So I had to navigate that along with committee meetings, being here for the Senate, and I felt that despite the challenges I had, I was still able to be here and support everybody and support my constituents. So time management is something that I'm familiar with, and being able to, deal with life and also deal with the responsibilities of college and all that too. So.
Again, also year to them saying the past two candidates. I think I have the experience to back it up. I trained initiative as a freshman to take on numerous leadership roles, and I have able to maintain a 3.96 GPA at the same time. And so going into next year, I want to make sure that we use platforms that save us time. Time is valuable, as we know as college students. So that means how can we, like Teams, for example, or Outlook, how can we use those platforms to save us time? And in meetings, how can we be efficient with our time in regards to, like, procedurally speaking? How can we make that accessible to people? How can we make it a low barrier to entry, save us time, save us from the complexity, so make sure we can deliver for our constituents?
Awesome. We'll have you stay right there so you can answer the question. Next, from Senator Hillstead.
I want to ask all of you, how do you plan on efficiently moving the senator meetings from here on out? Like all of you are talking about moving the senator meetings efficiently. I know you touched on it with your teams and things like that, but like, how do you plan on saving time during these senator meetings?
Thank you for the question, Senator Hillstead. That I've advocated last year. I came up with the idea of creating an online platform for Senate. So that means we'll be able to facilitate votes, organize agendas, and that will save us so much time trying to count senator by senator. We can do that instantly. And so I think that was something I did last year that will save us time. And so that's why, even again, procedurally speaking, I want to make sure we are accessible, but also maintaining that thorough, maintaining our standard, So that's what I want to do. I want to make sure, even for Robert's Rules of Order, I want to make sure everyone, especially for new senators, we want to make sure you're able to contribute as much as you can. So that means tailoring our procedure to make sure that we can do just that.
Thank you. Candidate Thapa.
Thank you very much for the question, Senator. I feel like my time as a CSAT senator gave me the first-hand knowledge to know what senator needs to thrive. I have seen things through senator's perspective. My current role as a coordinator has taught me how to manage process, organize people, and make decisions really transparent. And my leadership experience from managing esports organizations and chairing Model United Nations has shaped my ability to create illustrative, like high-functioning teams. I have worked with a large group of people with really diverse equations a lot of times, and I have always excelled in making sure that all of them are heard and the time is managed properly. For the very saying, I could say we will be running Senate in a procedural way where time is more efficient, but at the same time, we'll make sure that there is no diversion of the topic. I'll make sure that the committee is staying on agenda and it's not derailed. I'll make sure that we don't waste time doing that and taking everything under control. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Candidate Smith.
How can we even compete with that? I don't even know. Very good answers, guys.
Let me just say that to do the time management effectively, you'd have to follow the agenda, stick to it, stand your ground, as I know that our past speaker did a very good job doing that. She was very, very strong.
Look at her over there. So those are
the main things, but also, you know, just being able to manage a family and being in, you know, able to manage school and all the other responsibilities that come with life. You know, we're all trying to work through that. So just knowing how to do that effectively is key. So I think that would make me a great speaker candidate. So
Thank you so much. Is that a follow-up question?
No.
Oh, alrighty, then we'll be moving on and I'll add you to the questions list. Thank you. Candidate Smith, if I could ask you to stay there and answer the other question.
get used to that rotation there.
Thank you, that's all right. Senator Leon.
Thank you all for showing interest in the speaker position. I just want to know, sometimes student government meetings do tend to be long, and especially towards our budget meetings, there's going to be a lot of presenters, a lot of people for open forum. I just want to know how you guys will handle disputes against Senate or any of those people coming in, and how can you calm the situation?
Thank you, Senator. That's a very good question. Just knowing how to stay neutral and not get too many people excited. Getting, you know, emotions can run high when you're passionate about something. So just, you know, keeping an even keel and just making sure that everybody is supported their ideas without being disrespectful to anybody. I think respect is the utmost important when it comes to, you know, Senate meetings and just everybody in general. So.
Livingston.
Thank you for the question, Senator Leon. In regards to the actual meeting, again, I want to be a full and fair enforcer of the rules. I want to make sure we're using Robert's Rules of Order in a way that is time efficient and accessible. And in regards to the budget meeting, I know direct communication is very essential. I want to encourage senators that have questions to raise them directly to those individuals, saving us time in Senate, and so they can also come prepared too. And also our presenters can come prepared with questions. I want to encourage direct communication with other stakeholders that come and present to us.
Thank you so much for the question, Senator. Given my experience that I shared with you guys, saying I have chaired and co-chaired multiple Model United Nations, this experience comes in really handy about tackling discussions and breaking it down, trying to mediate the committee into falling back into the agenda. Even though Model United Nations may not run on Robert's Rules of Orders, there's plenty of examples that we can take from that, which helps us mediate the value of which we use to, you know, deliberate the committee into falling back into agenda and trying to not waste time. Thank you.
I see right there. Senator Miucci.
Hi, thank you all for being here. My question is, considering the many new senators that have joined this year, what steps would you personally take to help guide them through Senate meetings, how things work, and what are their responsibilities now that they're in it?
Thank you for the question, Senator. If elected, I would love to email everybody about Robert Rules of Order and how it works, the procedures. We also have other different committees that talk about it. We even have like sessions where we educate all the senators about how things work, about how budget meeting works, which was done by our president, Andrew, for me for the first time in one of our committees. I'd like to implement that. I'd like to be very direct with all the senators, would have gradual engagement with everyone. And like I said previously, if elected, I would love to have some individual time with each and every one so that I can fully support each senators individually on their senator project and act as a really good mediating resource or help them in any way I can. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Candidate Smith.
All right. Being new, I know is very scary. So I would understand that and know that you guys can ask any questions that you need to feel that you can come to either the president or the vice president or myself or anybody and ask any question. It's not going to make you feel out of place or out of sorts. So that's one of the most important things. Being an older student here on campus, I feel out of place a lot. So to me, that it's important to just have the inclusivity and just know that no question's a dumb question. I'm still asking questions. I'm still trying to learn stuff, and so it's okay to ask.
Candidate Livingston.
Again, yield to redundancy on the past two candidates. As I said previously in my speech, I want to make sure that our procedures are laid clear in the I want to make sure that the senators, I'll prepare items beforehand. I want to have instructive sessions, stuff like that, to have things that we can lay the procedure out clearly and have procedure that is accessible. I also want to encourage having an open door policy too. Like I said, I laid that in my speech. I want to have an open door policy where senators can come in and ask questions. Like Candidate Smith said, there's no such thing as dumb question. I'm always asking questions all the time. I want to have this I want to have that kind of attitude in regards to the Senate, but also I want to encourage collaboration. I want to see experienced senators with new senators, because that really helped me out as a freshman. Just having that mentorship with more experienced senators, having them help me navigate procedures and the system, and just to make sure that our new senators have what they can to be productive members of this body. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll have you stay right there to answer the next question. Senator Hodge.
Yeah, my question was, many of you spoke about giving one-on-one support. What support will you give the senators? I know you guys really touched on that just briefly here, but in what ways will you be available and showcase that?
Thank you for the question. I want to hope, first of all, it starts with the culture. I want to start with the culture of openness and transparency. I want to make sure senators feel it's not only permitted, but encouraged to come ask me questions, because that is how you learn. And I want to first start with the culture, but also even structurally speaking, having scheduled meetings, having those one-on-ones with senators, whatever it may be. It can be a Zoom, it can be a call. We can talk about our student government work. We can also just talk about life. What can we do to holistically help out senators to make sure, again, they can be productive members of this body? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Candidate Thapa.
Thank you so much for your question. I'd like to say the same thing as well as our previous fellow speaker said. It's very simple. It's either one-on-one on person or it's one-on-one on Zoom. We will be scheduling, let's say, when to meet, or we'll be scheduling conversations through team texts, and we will make sure that everybody gets an opportunity to share their point of view, share their experience. I really love having to share my experience with you guys as well. I would really love to do that as well. And in the same way, I'll be available in many different areas of the entire university. Sometimes I'll be in library. You could just shoot me a text and then I'll be there if I'm free, if you're free, and then in the same manner, we'd just be scheduling one-on-ones like that. Thank you.
So Candidate Smith. Have you stayed there for the other question?
Okay, thanks for bringing that up. Well, like Speaker Youngberg, she pretty much lived here, I think. As we can all say, I always seen her in the office. She was always working really hard, so I would strive to even be a quarter of that. But you know, I am taking some summer classes this summer so that I can lighten up my load for my senior year here. So I will have a lot of time to offer to all of you. So with that being said, you can call me, you could email me, you could, you know, schedule a Zoom, whatever. I will be available at all times whenever you need someone to talk to or have questions.
Oh, shoot. You told me to stay up
That
here.
is all right.
It's
That
just-
is
You just want to sit down and hide a little bit after each question. I'm sorry, but you do.
all right. Senator Hyber, did I say that right?
Yes, yeah. So the job of speaker requires you to be impartial and to be a firm hand to guide the Senate at times. Is that something you will be able to do despite maybe having friends in the room?
Oh boy, okay. That's a very good question. Sometimes I get myself in trouble because I am slightly bold in the way I approach things. So I don't think I'll have a problem with having a strong hand. I do care a lot about everybody, so that will be a challenge, I ain't gonna lie. But just knowing that you have to stay partial, you know, you can't be partial. You have to stay neutral in every situation and just guide along the meetings and make sure that everything's fair.
Thank you so much. Candidate Livingston.
Thank you for the question. Again, yes, I want to be a firm and fair enforcer of the rules. I want to ensure Senate stuff that happens outside of Senate does not influence stuff that happens inside of Senate. I will stand up. I want to elevate all voices, no matter how controversial they may be. I want to make sure everyone is heard, because that is how I believe is productive conversations are held. I want to make sure that we have those intentional and honest conversations, but at the same time upholding civility, upholding quorum, so those conversations can be productive and respectful.
Candidate Tapa.
Thank you so much for that question, Senator. That's a really good question for me to prove that I am capable of this position. For me, I have had a first-hand experience of my friends having in the same committee with me during many meetings. I have always shown neutral position. I have always maintained it. And throughout the course of my experience, I am used to it and I do not bulge to it, I could say. And then in the same way, I'll be following the Robert's Rule of Order in a really good manner, where I'll be really neutral and I'll not be taking sides in any parties. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll have you stay there to answer the next question from Senator Ide.
I have a motion before my question.
Is that a motion?
Yeah, motion to limit the speakers list.
Absolutely. There's a motion to limit the speakers list. With that, what the senator is asking is that we limit any questions that are being asked. What we will do essentially is, if this motion is adopted, I will ask for one last time for you all to raise your placards if you have questions, and then that will be it for any questions that are being asked for all of these candidates. Once we enter into discussion, there are opportunities to invite the candidates back in, and we'll get into that if it comes to it. However, there is a motion, so I seek if there's a second. There's a second. Motion from Senator Ide, second from Senator Hillstead. Are there any dissents to the motion? So is there anyone who's saying no to the motion? Seeing none, assuming unanimous consent, this motion is so adopted. At this time, I ask for any senators who are wishing to ask questions to the candidate to raise their placards, and then we'll end the speakers list at that point. I have Senator Ide, Senator Dietrich, Vice President Kafle, Senator Zahn, Senator Riggle, and Senator Hillstead. Or no, maybe not. And then Senator Johnson. Anyone else with questions? Once, going twice. Members of the gallery will only get questions if the senators yield their time over to them. Alrighty, any other senators wishing to ask questions? Seeing none, the speakers list is so closed. Senator Ide, did you have a question as well, or is that just a motion? Alright, Senator Ide, you have your time.
All right. First off, I'd just like to thank each and every one of you for your time and, lack of a better term, gusto for coming up here and putting your hat in the ring for the speaker position. As you guys might know in the room, I've worked extensively with the three of you on all of different types of projects, and all of you have great ideas, you have great projects, and overall, your ability to get things done in the Senate is remarkable, and it has impacted more people than we can even imagine. But with this in mind, with the responsibilities changing from a senator to now a speaker, how do you feel that would not only be a better position for each one of you, but also how are you adjusting towards that, and what have you taken in mind when you switch to be a speaker? I know it's a loaded question, so if you don't answer all of them, I won't be too hurt.
All right, thank you so much for the question, Senator. I'd like to say I was a part of 92nd Student Government as the senator for CSET, and I had the experience of seeing the perspective or POV from that seat over there. Now I'm transitioning to see everything from that seat. From this seat, I was representing my ideas, my point of views towards the committee, trying to influence people with that. But now I no longer have to do that. I will be staying neutral, listening to each and every ideas, making sure everybody gets their say, and making sure the committee runs properly. I feel like this is a really good opportunity that I'm getting for trying to just run the committee. I feel like the adjustment is really nice. I really would love to listen to each and everybody's POV and give an opportunity to everyone to speak, make sure it's fair and square. And that's it, I guess. Yeah, I'd really love to do that, and the adjustment has been good.
Thank you. Candidate Smith.
Thank you, Senator Ide, for the question. It's a very good one, or questions, I guess. Well, I think that not much really should change as far as our tenacity and our ability to get things done. So being a senator and going into the seat, I think it should still be very, very much similar in that sense of, our projects and whatnot. However, you got to focus mostly on the meetings and transparency and keeping everything equal. Also working with the president and vice president are going to be crucial. And so if there is something you have to hand off, or there's something that has to be done as far as, like a project my thrift store project, for instance, I was already planning on handing that over. Since I am a senior, I'm planning on somebody else taking the reins on that. So with that being said, there's opportunity there for that, and that's pretty much what it is. It's just going to be working together as a team and ensuring that everything is running smoothly. So.
Thank you so much. Candidate Livingston.
Thank you for the question, Senator Ide. Again, yield to redundancy. I've had the privilege to serve in Senate for a year and also be actively engaged in 3 committees. Having that experience, I think, gives me a grasp of the full breadth of what student government has to offer. And I think having that experience puts me in a good position to not only be a mentor for senators, be a colleague, and offer that help when they need it, I think is crucial. And so that, I think, is my transition, is to be able to step up as a leader, be able to help especially new folks who are here. I know it can be it's a big step, and I really appreciate you guys stepping up to help you serve your constituents. And that's what I want to do, is make sure you can deliver by having that experience, having that knowledge. I'm only getting more as time goes on. And so I'm really excited to work with all of you as a potential speaker. And yeah, that's fine.
Thank you so much. We'll have you speak more. Is that a follow-up question?
I want point of.
Is that a point of personal privilege or a follow-up question?
It's a follow-up question.
I'll allow it.
I guess it's not more. Yield to the gallery if they have it. Can I do that?
Is there anyone specific that? Oh God. Sure. I'll allow the yield.
Oh.
Stand up.
Stand up. Come on.
Thank you so much, Peanut Gallery.
What work have you done in the past to communicate with past speakers on what their duties are, and how can you use that knowledge gained from those previous speakers to apply that to your role if you were elected?
Thank you, former Senator Zellmer, for that question. I have generously received advising from Speaker Youngberg. I have been in touch with her a lot, and she has given me so much expertise and so much just behind the curtain knowledge I think will be very beneficial for this role. And I hope to use that and also use the expertise of our senators around the table. I know all of you have a lot of great ideas on how we can be a more productive, a more efficient, and just a better Senate. So I think that the having those conversations, Speaker Youngberg has really helped. I've been like a lot of people said, live in the student government office. I think I like to say I'm one of those people as well. I spend a lot of my time there, and so being there, I get to spend a lot of time with our execs, and just getting their expertise and knowledge on things has been super critical in helping me deliver for my constituents.
Thank you, Candidate Smith.
It's going to be hard to fill the shoes of Speaker Youngberg, that's for sure. So with that being said, you know, watching her in our meetings was very beneficial because you're able to see how things operate. However, with favoritism and whatnot, I guess I don't know. I have my own life after, you know, outside of this too. So I couldn't be here constantly, which can hurt me a little bit, I guess. So, but now, you know, I can. I have allotted more time for myself to be able to be here this coming year. I had 18 credits last year. It was huge. So for me to do that and then navigate everything else I had going on. So this year, I don't have nearly as many classes. I'm more part-time my senior year, and I planned it that way so I could be here. So thank you.
So much, Candidate Sapa, and we'll have you stay for.
Thank you so much for the question from the gallery. I have learned a lot seeing Speaker Youngberg operate the meetings in various ways and various days and many meetings and budget meetings and normal Senate meetings. I would say I have not gotten an opportunity to, you know, talk to her about how it works, but I have learned a lot from her just by watching her. I do plan to do so. I do like plan to, if I were elected, I do plan to communicate with her, have some knowledge about, you know, how to withhold her teachings. There's a whole summer left, so I would say that's a really good opportunity for a person like me with such experiences with previous, such good experiences to learn everything from someone like Youngberg. So yeah.
We'll have you stay to answer the next question from Senator Dietrich.
Thank you. I would just want to start off, you guys are doing great, so hang in there, you're almost done. My question is about one of the roles of speaker is also maybe.
Personal privilege. Can you please repeat that again?
Oh, okay, yes. My question is with regard to the role of speaker. Sometimes it's more than just like, you know, taking minutes, managing the meetings. Sometimes you have to do some unsavory things, like calling people out of order, potentially removing them from the room, as well as when senators are doing things in violation of their responsibilities and that sort of thing, you have to send them to ethics and standards. Do you think that that is something that you would be able to do in your role, or would you struggle with having to kind of be the bad guy?
Thank you so much for this question. This is a really good question to prove my point yet again that I deserve this spot. I have had really good experience with actually kicking people out because of disorderly conduct in my previous committee meetings. So I feel like I really resonate with following the rules. I really resonate with maintaining the orderly conduct of the committee, and I will not tolerate any disorderly behavior at all. Thank you.
Thank you, Candidate Smith.
Okay, well, I think it's safe to say that I'm probably not the most favorite candidate out of us three. I mean, I don't know. I kind of have I feel kind of maybe more like I'm a little able to have a stiff hand or necessarily whatever, follow the directions a little bit better. How do I put it? I guess it's hard to put it into words what I've tried to say. I'm sorry, Senator Dietrich. But I have a tendency to be a little, like I said before, bold in my statements and what I feel. keeping feelings out aside, it would just be, if we follow the order and the rules, you know, it makes things a lot easier. So just keeping things on track and following the rules would be the most important part of it, and ensuring that stuff gets done, so.
Thank you. Candidate Livingston.
I think I share a lot of the same rhetoric with candidate Smith. I've had times where I have had to be disciplined, I guess, in regards to Speaker Youngberg. And so I want to make sure, I want to use those as learning opportunities. I want to ensure that, again, being firm and fair enforcers of the rules, again, having a no-nonsense policy. So making sure we can have those productive and respectful conversations, because that's how you get stuff done. And like I said, being here for a while and having sometimes seeing those events unfold and seeing how Speaker Youngberg has handled those effectively, I want to model that and take it one step further to make sure that it's no bias whatsoever, hold everyone to account equally if that need may arise.
Thank you so much. We'll have you stay to answer the other question. Thank you so much. Senator Zahn, did I say that right? Zahn, awesome.
Well, first off, I just want to thank you all for being here and being brave and coming up here and speaking. You all have stated, you know, your varying experience in student government, and I'm sure you have much more experience in your different programs and your majors and such. I was just wondering how those experiences, how they impact your outlook on how to collaborate in student government and how to work with others in the Senate.
Thank you for that question. I've had the privilege to be in my department. I've had the privilege to be the new vice president for the students of the Urban Regional Studies Institute. And we have faced critical questions in regard to the curriculum and our program offerings. And being in that role, I've had the opportunity to be at the table and be able to hear those tough conversations. And that outlook, hearing those conversations and hearing all these different sides, having different priorities, I have learned that we need to approach our conversations with empathy, with respect, and having the ability to hear all sides is so essential. Having the ability to be bold and stand up when you need to is essential. And also alongside that, being an active member of College Democrats, being a member of the Politics and Policy Student Organization, I have had the privilege to host a bipartisan roundtable. I spearheaded that. And that literally, the whole objective of that event was to have heart-to-heart conversations about the issues facing college students. And from that opportunity as well, I've had the privilege of hearing all sides of we were in a just in circle. I mean, it's a neutral ground. Just having those honest and tough conversations, I've learned so much from people, that people come from all walks of life, and I don't know. Having that perspective is so valuable. So that's what I've learned from my experience.
Thank you so much, Candidate Smith.
Okay, very good question. I was sitting there trying to think how to go about this without getting kind of emotional. I'm sorry, guys, but I fought really hard to be here. You know, I'm older. I keep stating that, but it's really hard to get back into college after you haven't done it for a while. I have family obligations. You know, I had a lot going on, but sorry. Just knowing that I can fight that hard to be here, and I'm still trying to complete what I came to do. Know that I'm gonna fight incredibly hard for all of you guys. So, you know, I'm here, and I said I wasn't gonna get emotional, but it's inevitable. So with that being said, I'm gonna work really hard to make sure that everything's fair, that everybody has a fair chance at stating their purpose. You know, being a part of it all is just very inspirational for me, and I'm honored to be here, honestly. So thank you, guys.
Thank you. Candidate Papa.
Thank you so much for your question, Senator. I'd like to state a few things that I've stated before. I am currently serving as the chair for Sustainability Fee Advisory Committee. I listen to every one of my committee members and their ideology and their ideas and their perspective of the projects that we are trying to build. I make sure everybody gets an opportunity. That's one of the experience that I've learned from that committee itself that will help me be a better speaker for this committee. I also manage, I am also the facility manager for the esports facility. I manage a diverse, high energy team. it's a lot of kids who play game on caffeine. And I make sure everybody stays quiet. I make sure none of the classes are disruptive. I make sure everybody gets their opportunity to put their say on it. I make sure everybody gets to tell their story to me. There have been various situations various constances where there is some conflicts or disputes between players. It's very obvious. It's sports. Everybody has a different perspective. And then in that situation, I, as a manager and slash assistant coach for my team, act as their mentor. I listen to both their perspectives. I give a really good, let's say, answer or solution to find a better collaboration between them. That way, these are the experience that I've carried along with me, which I would love to carry along in this committee as well and improve. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll have you stand to answer the next question from Senator Johnson.
Thank you. Thank you, all three of you, for running for this office. And as an occasionally outspoken person and also a bit older, I appreciate so many of the answers that you've provided. What I'd like to ask each of you to give, if you can, is a specific moment, you don't need to say anybody else's names, when you've given an individual or a group grace, when you've accepted an apology, when you've given a second chance and allowed that growth to happen.
Thank you so much for the question. There's actually a really perfect scenario for me to explain. And one of my team, thank you. In one of my team for Valorant, I'm assistant coach for Valorant for our esports as well. We made it for nationals for Midwest Cup. We were traveling to Chicago, and we were staying in one of the hotels that was provided to us by the organizers. There was a conflict between two of my players saying that he was kind of being disruptive and the other person wanted to sleep. And it was a situation like that. In that situation, I went up to there. I broke the fight, of course, and then I made sure to let the other person know that there is this person needs his personal space. This person needs his personal time. I made sure he understands. I made sure to not make him feel bad about it, but I also made sure that he respects the other person's boundaries. Starting from next day, both of them got back together really well. And I feel like I mediated that conversation pretty well, and I made sure that there is no fight breaking out and handled the situation perfectly. Thank you.
Candidate Smith.
Oh boy, these questions are getting to be a bit long, but all right, here we go. I don't know if I should really even speak about this because I don't want to make the person, I don't want to call them out because they're in this room, but approaching the elections this year, the new elections, there was somebody that was doubting himself about a specific position at one point, and I didn't understand why, because he's an amazing person and he deserved the role that he got more than anybody else, honestly. So, and it's President Colleran, because he did an amazing job. He worked very hard to get where he is also, and I'm so proud of him. So I showed him grace in the sense that I tried to amp him up a little bit and give him the tenacity he needed and quit second guessing yourself, because you did an amazing job and you deserve it, both you and the vice president. So you guys did great, and that was the time I showed grace.
Thank you so much. Candidate Livingston.
Thank you for the great question, Senator Johnson. I've gave grace before, but I've also received a lot of grace. I think for me personally, it's been in regards to friendships. I screw up a lot. We're human. It's bound to happen. We make mistakes. But at the end of the day, it's a matter of forgiving and forgetting. I think that is it's crucial in our work. Having that ability to see the human side of people is so important. Knowing that people screw up sometimes, including myself. Just having that empathy, having that grace is so important. And not only, well, at the same time, you want to have that firm but fair enforcement. You also want to see the human side of people, knowing that people mess up, people, show emotion sometimes, including myself. But that's the beauty in it. It's the beauty of being able to forgive, being able to have that grace. I think that is where we have those productive conversations. That is the starting point. And then we can go on to having moving forward, just going in general, delivering for our constituents. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll have you stay to answer the next question.
I might go for 3.
We're almost done. Vice President Kafle.
Firstly, thank you so much everyone for applying. So I have a simple question. If elected, how will you hold senators accountable for attendance, participation, and respectful conduct?
Thank you for that question. Like I mentioned previously in my speech, I want to have a very flexible policy because I know people have busy schedules. I want to be flexible, make sure we can utilize all forms of engagement. That includes Zoom, that includes also in person. I want to make sure if you are able to be here, that you are here, because that is essential in engaging in your work and delivering for your constituents. I want to make sure, I want to not really enforce, but also work with senators. How can we bring you to the table? How can we tailor your needs so you can be present, so you can be engaged? So I want to have again, we go back to the grace. I want to give people grace knowing that they have busy schedules, that they have a lot on their plate sometimes. I want to make sure they have all the resources they can be engaged, and be flexible, but also making sure not at the expense of maintaining our thorough nature of our work and make sure we can deliver again for our constituents.
Candidate Thapa.
Thank you so much for the question. And yield to redundancy. It's very simple. We will be implementing Zoom. We will be implementing in person. We'll try to make sure everybody is really fine and flexible with the routine that we have. But I'd also add a point and remind everyone and motivate everyone to think that we all are here to represent the entire student body for our university. We are representing thousands of people, thousands. And they are sleeping like peacefully. They are doing their assignments without any worries because we are worrying for them. That would be something that I would like to ignite on each and every senator here to make sure everybody gives their full participation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Candidate Smith.
All right. Obviously, being here is important, and I know that, but sometimes life happens too. So, with that being said, I wouldn't make it so strict that if you can't be here because of a personal reason, that you're going to be booted, because we need people in these seats too, and I understand that. So, just as long as you're here and you're engaging and you're able to be there for your constituency is the most important thing. So, as long as all that's covered and you're able to do your job as a senator, I don't think I'd ever turn anybody away. So, as far as that goes, thank you.
Thank you. We'll have you stay to answer the next question, and that will be the final question. Thank you. Our final question, your second and last question, Senator Riggle.
All right. Okay. So obviously you guys are all very passionate about the work that you do and all of the work that you want to do. However, that does mean sometimes there's a few conflicts, such as things outside of school, such as like Students United or work or other things. If something happened to come up and you were elected speaker, how would you deal with that?
Could you just clarify, like, if something were to happen to come up, like, as I couldn't do my job as a speaker? Oh boy, I would definitely hope that doesn't happen. But in the rare case that it might, I would probably speak with the president and vice president, come up with a game plan on how we could address the issue. If it was able to be worked through, we'd work through it. If it was as far as like stepping down and letting somebody else take over because it wasn't working out or whatever, then that would be something too. I guess I'm just not quite sure how to answer that effectively, other than I would just be sure to consult with the two leaders over there, so the president and vice president.
Thank you. Candidate Thapa.
Thank you so much for the question. I believe the question means that if I'm elected and I'm the speaker and there's a certain day where I have some other work and I'm missing that day, how would I address that?
Or if something like happened to come up and you were no longer able to be speaker and you were forced to resign, how would you handle that situation?
Okay. As an international student, I don't have my family over here, so I don't think family problems would be really a big deal for me right now. Second of all, as an international student, I mean, as an esports player as well, every time we have to travel to LAN, we go to Friday. It's always on the weekends, so I hardly believe it would ever interfere with Wednesday timings. Third of all, I would say communication. The best part about it is communication. So I'd say I would communicate with president and vice president, like my previous fellow leader said, and I just work on that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, candidate Livingston.
Thank you for the question again, Senator Riggle. I yield redundancy on that one. Again, I would consult with our great new incoming president and vice president. Constitutionally speaking, the president would take over for our meeting. So that's how it would go for the Senate side of things. But also, again, just having honesty, transparency, and communication is so important. So everyone's on the same page. We're not going to let an absence my potential absence get in the way of the greater body's work. And so I'll make sure I do everything in my power to make sure that is not to happen. Also, to mention, I also have my schedule set aside for Senate. I'm ready to invest my time and commit to our work and our mission.
Thank you so much. We'll have you stay as there is still time for the 2-minute closing statements. We'll let you be ready, and ready whenever you are. Each one of you will have 2 minutes for your closing statements.
On respect to time, I'll keep this brief. First, I just want to say thank you to the Senate for giving me the opportunity to speak. Thank you to my fellow candidates. Thank you to my supporters in the gallery and on the live stream. Hello, Aunt Carrie. It was an immense privilege to work alongside all of you in the last Senate, and if elected, I will continue my steadfast service, dedication, and appreciation into the next. I'm committed to fostering a Senate that is collaborative, innovative, and adaptable, where student voices are heard, bold ideas are welcomed, and every senator feels supported in turning their vision into action. Thank you, and I humbly ask for your support.
Thank you so much. Candidate Tapa.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Senator. Thank you, everybody here. Thank you, people in the gallery who came up to see me speak. Thank you so much. This election is not just about choosing a speaker. It's about choosing a direction of how we work together moving forward. We all want a Senate that's effective, accountable, and centered on students' need. Keyword being students' need. I believe I'm prepared to deliver that through a mix of experience, structure, and support. As a speaker, I will support fairness, transparency, and professionalism, and I'll help facilitate cross-commission collaboration and ensure that student voices are heard, and that your work as a senator is recognized and supported as well. Both Alexis and Ben being really impressive experiences and qualities to the table, and I respect them as fellow leaders. But what I offer is a blend of technical organization, strong procedural knowledge, and a student-first mindset. It is shaped by multiple leadership perspectives across our campus that I've been taking part of, and together we can make the Senate not only just more efficient, but more engaging and more empowering for every student leader in this room. Thank you so much for considering me as your next speaker. I humbly request your vote. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And candidate Smith.
All right, I'm going to keep this really short so we can get out of here. All right. Thank you all for your time and the opportunity to speak with you today. I want to thank every one of you, and also my biggest supporter in the back of the room. He's awesome. I wasn't, as I touched on before, I wasn't able to attend every meeting, due to some personal stuff going on, but I am totally 110% dedicated to this position and all of you. So I would be honored to have your vote for speaker, and I'm ready to give this my full dedication moving forward. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, candidates. We can give a huge round of applause for all three of you. Awesome. Now that we're done with the questioning, here's how this is gonna go. For all three of the candidates, you're either welcome to stay within the room or you can choose to leave the room. We'll let you decide, and we'll wait if you're choosing to leave the room while.
Oh, do you want us, they're getting up to go, do we go now or?
It's entirely up to you.
Okay.
If you're choosing to stay or leave. Is that a motion from all of you or? Thank you. I'll see if there is a motion. If not, we'll enter into discussion anyway. So I'll wait if that's not a motion, I'd wait on raising your placard for now. Awesome. So at this point, the Senate shall enter into a point of discussion. Each one of you shall have 2 points of discussions that you're able to share with with each other that you're able to discuss. I'll be limiting the speakers list so that way we're respecting everyone's time. So if you have anything, and I'll open it up one more time before I close it, so that way if there's anything follow-up that you'd like to mention, you're able to do that as well. At this point, if there are any points of discussions, I ask that you raise your placard. Any points of discussions? Any other points of discussions? If not, I'll open it up for a second time before we close it up. Awesome, Senator Knauer.
Yeah, I believe Ben is the best candidate. I'm just gonna say that out loud now. He came very prepared. He's even on the fly. He answered pretty well, and he was the only one that answered the question that I asked the way I wanted. I asked people, how are you gonna prepare for time management? And then they said, oh, I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna do this. But he actually like gave me a solid answer. So I mean, yeah, that just says itself is self-preparedness and all that. He hit on points that I would have hit on, like the time management stuff. So yeah, vote for Ben.
Thank you so much. Senator Ide.
Thank you. As I mentioned before in my question during the Q&A, I've worked with all of the candidates, and it's really hard to pick just one person as we can only vote once. But to recommend a speaker and knowing what I know about all the candidates, I think it's really important to think about the shift in their role as a senator to now becoming a speaker, and if becoming a speaker would be the best fit for that senator or the candidate. While I support all of the speakers, I do believe it's important to remove the biases that we have with working with them, and recognizing honestly the most important ability of a speaker, which is the ability to handle distress or backlash against certain decisions they've made. That must be considered, and I think that some candidates are better at handling backlash than others. Additionally, so due to their experience in similar debates, notice that they're hosting of a chair for Model United Nations, which is very similar to what we do here. The proximity campus, which would allow them to act more in favor of what the Senate is actually going on. As I said, I respect all the senators, but one of them lives like an hour away from campus, which if something were to happen, that would it could pose a problem. But additionally, just as the role of a coordinator, I would strongly recommend a speaker's vote for candidate Thapa.
Thank you. Senator Riggle.
Can I do both of mine back to back?
Sure.
No, don't worry, you'll see. So I first want to say that I think Dikshant is by far the strongest candidate of the three that we have. I think they're all strong in their own right, but I like Dikshant's answer the best. And I think he has lots and lots of experience that will be useful, especially in his roles as a coordinator. And he gave very explicit examples as to how this work will aid him as speaker. Secondly, I would like to yield to currently still Speaker Youngberg.
Sure.
Usually I won't give my 2 cents, but putting all my personal relationships aside, a lot of people who are returning from last year to this year, y'all know I've spent a lot of time with Ben and he's been a really good bestie, but putting that relationship aside and kind of hearing all of their answers, because they all gave really good answers, not gonna lie, they're really good. I honestly would agree with what Senator Riggle said, that I do believe candidate Thapa is a really strong candidate in all of his answers and all of his preparation. And he also took a brand new committee this year and built it from the ground up, which is very hard to do, and it was very impressive. And also building those relationships like as quickly as he could, just to make sure that things got done, and they did. And now students have better busing. and we're actually gonna be able to hopefully pay off our busing bill. And make sure that our international students have more routes to get to and from campus. If that doesn't bring the education, I don't know what does. And I know that they all said that they haven't had like the super close one-on-one time to talk to me. Whoever you all elect, I am gonna have a one-on-one chat with all of them. Even though I did have more of a chat with one and I did have smaller conversations with the others, I will still have chats with all of them and give them all of my brain knowledge and give it to them so they have that. So just so you all know, everybody will have a fair and equal opportunity to have all of my knowledge.
Thank you so much. So what I heard was any candidate that you'd elect, Speaker Youngberg would be providing them with full guidance and support.
Yeah.
Thank you. We'll move on. Senator Hillstead.
I want to put it out there that I know all three of them from the previous 92nd student government, and right now I'm at a loss. All three of them sounded extremely qualified, extremely smart, extremely well-rounded, and extremely committed to being the speaker. I have a lot of personal biases towards one candidate. I'll put it out there. It is Ben Livingston. Him and I have talked genuinely over this last year a lot about different issues and different things, and I just really love how he approaches debate. And him and I have talked multiple times about different issues going on around the world, and he's been really impartial, as well as understanding the other side, as well as advocating for himself in his own stance, as well as just the way he carries himself throughout the day. He's always prepared. He's always looking like he's ready to get at something. And so I strongly would encourage you to vote for former Senator Livingston and Speaker candidate Livingston as well.
Thank you so much. Senator Leon.
Yield to redundancy what Senator Hillstead say. I am pretty biased because I'm very close with Ben. But one thing that does shape Ben into a very good candidate is that he's very dedicated to what he wants to do. Every time I brought this up to him, he's always asked me what more can he do, and he's willing to do. And I really do know that some other candidates do have better qualifications, but a lot of people do take risk, and I feel like this is a risk that won't go bad. And I really hope you guys can see Ben's determination and understand that he is equal with all of the senators and is trying to make everything a really good place here.
Thank you so much. I'll open up the speakers list again. I have Senator Ide, Senator Zahn. Is there anyone else willing to be added? Senator Cummings, Senator Sharaf, Senator Morris, right? Anyone else? Not the execs. Going once, going twice. Alrighty, Senator Ide.
Alright, so I'd just like to kind of mirror a lot of the things that Senator Hillstead and Leon said. I think that as I've worked with Ben over the last 92nd student government, I've recognized that he's been a very good senator, but to just kind of lay everything out on the table and be 100% honest, and I think that he would be a better senator than a speaker. For exactly the reasons I've mentioned. He's very dedicated, he wants to always do more, and he's pretty resourceful on a lot of his projects, and he just gets stuff done. As a speaker, he's not able to do the same things that he's able to do as a senator. And I don't want to sound like I'm calling him out on this, but I think it is still important to realize this. During one of the last Senate meetings, we had members of the gallery come up and talk about things, and
I would rule that out of order.
Out of order? Okay.
You can continue if you have any other points.
But yeah, I think just taking it in account of what everybody's skills and abilities are, and their abilities at addressing what needs to be addressed in committee, I think that candidate Thapple would be the best choice, just because I think the other two are great senators, and I would love to see them continue their role as senators.
Thank you so much. Senator Zahn.
I just want to say that everyone did a great job speaking, made very good points, and it is genuinely hard, especially as a new senator, to come to a conclusion because I do not have all the background that you guys have. But I would just like to point out one thing that candidate Livingston said, that he finds respect for others' viewpoints and arguments the most important, which I think is vital to this kind of group. Being able to cultivate an environment of accepting others' opinions and considering them and not sectioning off into groups or ideas and stuff like that, I think is super important. And I think if he can cultivate that kind of environment, which seems like he's very capable of doing, especially with how much he wants to talk with us senators, and as me as a new senator, you know, having that ability to talk to him and get new experience, and also maybe be protected in a way in Senate where maybe I'll say something that isn't quite what I think, or I can't express it well. And I think he could do a very good job at helping me improve and get better at that. And yeah.
Thank you so much. Senator Cummings.
Yeah, so kind of in correspondence with what was just said, I am new here. I don't know any of you, none of you know me. So going on with the truly unbiased opinion of all of the candidates. The one who mainly spoke out to me was Senator Livingston, just going along with what Senator Hillstead said about his preparedness. He seemed ready, he seemed willing to answer the questions with full integrity, as well as his continuous bipartisan support. I feel like, especially in the times that we are in now, is something that is very important to have that bipartisan background to him. So, yeah.
Thank you, Senator Shroff.
I just want to highlight the skill set that each candidate had, and I've been working with all of them. Specifically with Senator Smith over the campaign. I worked with Ben Livingston both in student government and in the reporter. And I worked with TAPA on the IT solutions and many other things that I did extracurriculars for. And I want to point out and support Senator Ide in the skill set and the application of that skill set that we need to look at. And I believe that Ben is a very great candidate as a senator. I believe that Senator Smith can be a very good coordinator because I did see how she handles the tasks and deadlines, and I guess taking in opinions. I think that Senator Livingston is actually very empathetic and able to listen, and I do think that we need Senator Livingston as a senator. Whereas I did see candidate TAPA being able to lead groups, large groups, and stay neutral and kind of not heating up on the conversations, which another point is the backlash. We need to understand that sometimes conversations here get heated, especially given many multiple different situations around campus and around the world that we need to be able to address. And Speaker is a pretty important position to not make the whole Senate literally getting red and angry. So candidate TAPA for me.
Thank you. Is that a question or a
Point of information, just to clarify for myself, can speakers still assist with projects and still do some of the things that senators do with like that get trapped on mindset that multiple people have, but
correct? The speaker can still assist the senators in the projects that they do and guide them in either writing resolutions or working on different projects that senators have been doing. Speakers in the past have guided senators on their projects and the resolutions that they put in. Thank you for the question. Senator Morris.
Okay, so I am also new. I've kind of been taking notes on everything they've been saying the whole time. But I'm also new, so I kind of come from that perspective that I don't know most of you. I have gotten to know Andrew, gotten to know Khalifa, I've gotten to know a few others here and there, like Jack, but overall, I don't know a lot of you. Utilizing just the information that I've gathered from statements from everyone in this room, from the former speaker, my impression is that Ben and Thop are both really, really good candidates. And personally, I have been in between both of them at the same time. I noticed that Ben is a really good speaker. He is direct in discussion and understands how to take a question and answer it. I do like that about him, and hearing from a lot of people in the room, he seems to have some sort of attachment or touch on everyone in the room, like being more personal, being understanding, and that sort of thing. I do like that. However, I did really appreciate the argument that he had made here. I'm not familiar with your name, but Senator I really liked his point that he is passionate enough that it's really good to be a senator. It's really good in the role of a senator. But I also think that that is a quality that can be really important in a leader of the entire body. And I yield.
Thank you. Senator Ide and then finally Senator Dietrich. Senator Ide.
Point of clarification, so.
Point of information.
Or point of information, sorry. So essentially a speaker can only take an advisory role on, say, resolutions, they cannot take like an executive role? Is that like officially, is that?
Correct. A speaker doesn't sponsor a resolution or second a resolution entirely because the speaker is a non-voting member of the Senate.
Thank you.
Awesome. Senator Dietrich.
Motion to call to question.
Alrighty, thank you. There has been a motion to call the question. For those of you who are new, calling to question essentially means that we're gonna start voting on it. There is a second from Senator Hillstead. Alrighty, so once a question has been called, I seek to see if there are any dissents before we enter into voting. Any dissents before we enter into voting? Seeing none, assuming unanimous consent, we shall enter into voting for the speaker. Here's how we'll do this. I ask that all of you take a piece of paper and write down one candidate's name that you think is the most eligible to be the speaker. Take your time, we'll go around the table to collect every one of your votes. For those on Zoom, I ask that you send me a direct message with your votes. Once you're done writing, I ask that you fold your paper up. We'll go around to collect the pieces of paper. You only get to vote for one candidate. If you do not believe in a single candidate, you can write no confidence. However, looking at the discussions, I find that hard to be an outlier.
If you're meeting online, please DM me, Roshit, your vote.
Just hold it up.
And then what we will do is we will count up all of the votes. We will then eliminate the third lowest candidate, and then we will enter into a discussion for the two remaining candidates before we go into voting again.
Unless we reach the 15 vote threshold right now.
Unless we reach the 60% vote threshold right now. Is that a motion?
It's
Is that a point?
Point of clarification information thing.
Yes.
So what is the current like voting number of people in this room? Like who?
15.
No, overall.
25.
Oh, overall 25, a 60% is 15.
Okay.
Yes.
After this, I think we're done. After the vote, we're doing like closing.
Check the agenda.
Announcements. Sorry, my computer died and I can't access it on my phone right now. Alright, perfect.
I'm still speaker, don't say that. You're still speaker until we elected you. I'm speaker for the academic year. Oh, okay, clarification.
I think you.
I actually voted for myself as speaker, so hopefully when they open it, they're not confused.
Try to have a little.
So what? Yeah. No way. Carlos, what are you doing? thought you were just like Sigma posing there, like, keep in order. Is that how you're gonna address all your like, what do they call them?
No.
Going over clear skies?
Flight attendants?
No, not the flight, like the actual people flying.
Oh, passengers?
There we go. I'm a little tired.
Sure,
Rain's for a reason.
I'll stand at the cockpit door.
When did I not listen to you? I didn't get you.
I don't remember us having secret.
Those guys, who are they?
Kinda handsome.
Yeah.
Got a black sweatshirt.
Little charm.
I'm from
Sure.
I only got one, so I think I should be like your favorite person.
It's an 8-hour meeting, actually.
David
Fair. This is just repetitive questions.
I've never asked for any
Suspense is killing me.
So
Suspense
I
is
paid
killing me.
my own.
I have to take after my
I'll give this.
I know I
I paid my own.
Yeah, I hated you. I hated you. I hated you just in the session, in the budget meeting.
Oh, yeah.
You talked.
Well, a lot of the times, like, yeah, it's because I just had
I need to get there. You want me to get up?
Still need to fix that.
Russia.
That's all right. I just gotta make sure that tallies.
There you go.
This one might not be elected.
What's up?
I was just thinking signing that.
Wait, who is this for?
Carlos, go sit down.
I go set.
We might not have a live.
Matthew? Matthew so?
That's me. I didn't even look at it.
Just ask Andrew.
Well, I can't be Matthew.
But then everyone's gonna be like, oh,
Sorry,
that Matthew.
that was including Alexis, sorry.
Or you could like,
It's more like Matt Hay.
Matthew, yeah.
No.
I was counting Alexis. The vote count is right.
Rosha, do we have any more like events? Like, you know, how we did the bowling thing? Do we have anything like that? Okay.
Not anymore, unless you wanna organize one.
Nah, no one's gonna show up. I mean, it'd be cool, but I think people just, it's fine.
Okay, we're getting it ready. Alrighty, welcome back. At this time, we have not had an election. None of the three candidates have received the 60% threshold to be elected into the position of the speaker. However, we have had 3 candidates ranked and there is a third candidate. So we will be eliminating the third candidate and we'll be entering into a discussion for the 2 candidates. And then we'll be starting discussions within those 2 candidates. Senator
I had a
Canal.
question.
Yes.
So say the eliminated candidate was a senator, would they be able to vote then for the 2 people that are not senators?
John, I'm guessing the answer is no.
Sorry?
There's a question, if the candidate that is being dropped is a senator, would they be allowed to come back in and vote on the elections?
That's a great question. Well,
Is that up to the presiding officer?
here's some rationale. I would venture to guess that yes, because right now that senator's non-vote is figured into your total and there's not a proxy here voting in place of that senator. So my guess would be that that person would be able to and be eligible to vote. Just got one more state.
Noted. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
That's all right. Unless there are any objections from anyone in the Senate. And we can enter into voting to see how everyone else feels, if that is all right. That'd be something that we
I don't
can
know that you need to do that, because honestly, that the senator would be entitled to have a proxy sitting here on their behalf right now.
Then that's all right, we'll just allow it. Thank you. Alrighty, looking at the vote count, we have Senator Livingston, Senator Thapa, and Senator Smith. Since Senator Smith has the least votes, we'll be dropping them out of the election and we'll be allowing them to enter into the room. We'll take a minute before we allow them in. We'll enter into a discussion for the remaining two candidates, and then we'll be focusing our discussions on the remaining two candidates. Before we enter into voting, is that a motion?
No, point of information, would we want the senator to be in here, Senator Smith to be in here during the discussions?
The senator has a right to be in the room.
Okay.
And provided that we do not count their vote, it is being counted against the two candidates, because we do need to get to the 15 vote threshold in order to elect a speaker. If we do not have their vote, we won't have enough
Just for
candidates
information, we're
voting.
dropping candidate Smith right now from.
Correct.
So doesn't she belong to be in here to hear the discussions about both candidate Livingston and candidate Thapa?
Correct. And we'll be discussing only those two candidates.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh. I thought we were gonna take a minute, have the discussion and then.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. Thank you. Yep.
Can we first give a huge round of applause for Senator? Alright, to update you and the Senate on where we're at, we're still in the elections process. We completed one round of voting. We decided on dropping the candidate with the least number of votes to enter in, to proceed with the elections. And having received the least number of votes, we've decided to drop you. However, because you're still a senator, you're entitled to stay within the room and continue on discussions of the two candidates that are being considered for the position of the speaker. You are still within your position as a senator, you have a right to vote. However, you may also choose to abstain if you choose to do so.
Okay, I'll
You're allowed to
abstain.
enter into any discussions as well.
I'm just gonna abstain because they're both really good, so I don't.
That is perfectly all right. You're still allowed to enter into discussions or provide a vote.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. At this point, we'll be entering into a period of discussion for the two remaining candidates. And I'll be writing names down. Senator Dietrich.
So I just wanted to take a moment to say that I have been part of student government for the last 2 years, this year and the previous year. I have worked in Senate with both former Senator Livingston and former Senator Thapa. And I like both of them very much as people, and I respect both of them. I think they're both fantastic candidates, but I have to pick one. For the role of speaker specifically, I am backing Senator Thapa. He had the best response, I felt like, to the question that I asked. For those not aware, in the 91st second, we had a lot of issues when it came to senators not doing their responsibilities, not putting their hours in, not doing, the reports, and it just really, it became a gigantic storm of bad. And so I have the most confidence that Senator Thapa would be able to not only keep order when in the Senate chamber, but also, be, communicating with our senators to make sure that they know what their responsibilities are and that they're following through with them. As far as, working on their senator projects and keeping up with their hours and everything else that is required of our senators. As much as I really like Ben, I do also feel like he is the type of person who gets more flustered than I would say Dickshon Papa is. And this is just my 2 cents, but I feel like it's gonna be an interesting year next year. And I want someone who is not gonna entertain anything that's gonna derail our meetings. And so for that reason, I will be backing former Senator Tapa.
Thank you so much, Senator Miyoshi.
Both candidates were great. They gave both amazing responses, but I strongly encourage a vote for candidate Kappa because his responses were more thorough for me, at least. And I strongly believe in his capabilities of being an unbiased speaker. And more importantly, he has the experience, he's shown, it's clear that it will be a great position. And I also echo a lot of sentiments of other people that have spoken about this, that because of how passionate and great Ben is, he will be much greater as a senator than he will be as a speaker. So that's my 2 cents.
Thank you so much, Senator Nguyen.
Wayne. Two very qualified candidates. I truly believe I'm backing former Senator Livingston on this one due to the reason of his values. His values of being transparent as well as innovation are two very big values that I think every student should have. I say that because when you think of innovation, you think of change, you think of growth. And so whenever I talk to former Senator Livingston, he's always had that mindset of innovation and growth and never repeating the same mistake twice. And for those reasons, I am backing former Senator Livingston.
Thank you so much. We can go with candidate Livingston as well. Senator Knauer.
I liked everything that Eddie just said. I believe those values are also well. But my main concern with Senator Thapa is the ratio that he can like give to the Senate. I'm part of a lot of organizations as well, and I've come to points where I had to turn down this position because of that. And I'm just worried for the same reason that I was thinking, that he will not be able to handle the amount of workload that he's doing. But whereas Ben, he's not as involved in as many organizations, so he can give more of his all to this position. And he's also, I believe, only going into his sophomore year. So that's also something to take into account. His classes are gonna be easier than Thapa's, so he's gonna be able to put more into the Senate. So just take that in mind when you're voting, but I'm backing Ben with this one. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Hillstead.
I want to yield to redundancy a little bit on what Senator Knauer said, but I also just want to say Ben as an individual can carry himself well, and as you can tell now, I'm endorsing my vote to be candidate Livingston. He's great at being impartial. He is great at knowing both sides, and I'll advocate for the same reasons I did last time. He knows how to see the other side. He knows how to conversate with the other side. He knows how to express his opinions about the other side and still understand the other side, while also standing up for himself and standing up for his own opinions. So therefore, he is impartial, and his projects that he's done this year are unbelievable. And they're pedestrian safety. That's the biggest one that stands out to me because I saw him tabling for the brands. But pedestrian safety, as soon as the incidents happened with the international students getting hit, he was immediately on to getting the crosswalks to be tried to be lit up, as well as handing out free reflective bands to do so. And so his initiative is really fast and really good, and I feel like that'd be beneficial as a speaker. And I'm gonna take my second thing and yield to Nolan Zelmer.
I vote again. Unfortunately, I have not had the privilege of working with Dickshon as much as I have with Ben. So this isn't me having bias against Dickshon, but I am going to give a lot of more personal promotion towards Ben. And those kind of follow along the same guidelines that everyone else has said. Ben works so extremely hard, and I see that every single day. He is always on top of it. He's trying to do stuff new. With his pedestrian safety and giving out the wristbands, he personally paid for those wristbands because he cared about, did he not?
That is out of order, that is not accurate.
That is not, excuse my out of orderness. Anyways, but he really cares about people, and I know that he would care the same about every single person sitting at that table. So just the amount of effort that Ben gives and he cares so much about this kind of community and also kind of holding and representing our students with different political views and that kind of stuff. I know that Ben really just wants to do the best for the campus, and I feel like that position would suit him extremely well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator Leon.
I am very biased, I will say, and I do understand with Senator Dietrich where you commented about Ben getting really flustered. And personally, I do understand that, and he is a type of person to get flustered, but at the end of the day, we are humans, and when certain occasions happen during Senate meetings, I know I've had that during the budget meeting regarding to some budgets, I get flustered and I get very overwhelmed, but that's just how we react to certain things. And for certain occasions that Ben has been, he reacted in a way where a person under that pressure was very good. And I honestly think if you guys can see and kind of give him a little bit of a lenient wrist to understand that he is human and there is a possibility that he's gonna change his ways, and cracking under pressure maybe will help him become less flustered.
Thank you so much, Senator Riggle.
I have had the experience to get to know Ben quite a bit over this last school year. And I think that he is an amazing individual and he has done amazing work in Senate. However, that being said, he is just coming out of his freshman year. He is very new to the way that things work on campus despite being incredibly involved in everything. And I do think he is better suited for a Senate position at this moment. I can totally see him taking an executive role later over the next few years. But I think for now, he would definitely thrive more in a Senate position with that opportunity of, potential coordinator positions, working with the executive board a little closer. Meanwhile, I look at Dikshant and I see a very qualified candidate. I think he gave the best answers to the questions that were asked. I like the specificity of them. He may not have been as prepared as candidate Livingston, but I think they had more heart to them. And I like I said, I like the specificity of them. He has so much prior experience with his work with the esports team, with IT solutions, with Model UN, and with his own work here at Senate as both a senator and a coordinator, that I think he is more than qualified for the role of speaker. Every single time he has asked to say something in Senate, it has been something important, and he has meant every word of what he said. He might not say a lot, but he certainly means it. And I think that candidate Tapa is by far the most qualified of the two remaining candidates. I would also like to take this time to yield to Kendra Youngberg.
That will be the final yield.
All good. Sorry, former President Zelmer is calling me currently, so that was awkward.
Former President Zelmer can wait.
That's fine. Hello to everyone. If you don't know me, I'm Kendra Youngberg. I was, still currently am, the speaker for the 92nd student government. So y'all are trying to vote on somebody to replace me. And if you didn't know, they were referring to me that whole time. All of them had very lovely things to say. I wish Senator Smith was in the room because I do think that she articulated a lot of things very well. And she was a really great candidate. You guys have a very, very difficult decision to make. I do want to note and want you all to take into account that just because somebody is busy and involved in a lot of things, that doesn't mean they can't do this job well. If you take in, for example, me, I'm a graduate student. I do 20 plus hours of research every week. I am a graduate teaching assistant, so I teach and do coursework for that class 20 hours a week. Plus I did the speakership and I spent at least 15 to 20 hours a week doing that, plus much more. Our former president, Roshan Nurullah, has been in multiple different things. Your current president has served as the RHA president, was the vice president or secretary or treasurer or whatever for SAGE. I can't remember. Was involved in a million other organizations and will still probably be heavily involved in these organizations coming forward. Your vice president, or at least some involvement, not maybe to extreme involvement, but at least still somewhat involved in organizations. Your vice president that y'all elected and most of you ran with is going to be going to the nursing program. And if you don't know what the nursing program entails, holy crap, you should literally educate yourself and know what the nursing program entails. We are all super busy. Your vice president last year, Vice President Jay, had 3 internships, had 2 jobs, plus helped with athletics in almost every single capacity, yet showed up here and was on commissions and committees and boards. Just because people are busy, that doesn't mean that they don't have the time to actually be able to do their job. So I don't want you to say that that's like a negative thing towards one candidate versus the other. Like, you have to like take that into account, that people can do multiple things and still do well. And both those candidates have presented that they can do a lot of things well when they have multiple things on their plate. And I just want you all to like take that into consideration when you're saying that, because you shouldn't view one person's involvement as a negative and the other person's involvement as a positive, just because they're not as involved. Or to your perspective, you might think that they're not as involved. So I just want you all to like really think about that as you're making this decision. And normally I wouldn't endorse a candidate, but I would have to agree with comments made by Senator Diedrich and Senator Riggle about one of the candidates that was here. So that's my 2 cents. Whether you want to take that or not is up to you. And that, I yield my time back to right now Speaker Nirala.
Thank you so much. We'll get going. Senator Ide.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna keep my yapping to a minimum, but essentially, I think that both candidates are fantastic. But I believe that candidate Thapa has the greatest ability of going to be trying to like formulate the meetings and doing the minutes, as he already serves as the committee lead for the sustainability committee. He actually kind of created that. So I know that while with working with him, he has the dedication to try new things and not only try them, but put his full effort. And with his work, we've been able to hopefully, if it gets passed, fully sustain the busing routes and add bus routes on weekends and allow people to move throughout Mankato easier. I'd like to yield to a lot of redundancy with what Senator Riggle said regarding the role of Ben Livingston. And I think that one day, if he went for like a VP or a president, I think he would be fantastic at it. But he's a freshman, going to be a sophomore, and I think that the experience that Thapa has in all of his different roles is
better suited for speaker. That's all.
Senator Knauer and Senator Miucci, I ask anyone who, Senator Hill said, anyone who wants to speak, please raise your placards before we enter into voting, just so we're saving everyone's time. Going once, going twice, Senator Knauer.
First off, I would like to say regarding like an incident that happened like with the previous Senate that we saw Ben get flustered. He came to the next meeting. Oh, you don't want me to?
Any personal comments related to that incident, I would avoid.
Let's just say when he makes a mistake, he corrects it, and I believe that's a very valuable, can't think of the word, but that's a very valuable like point that he gets across. Whenever there's a mistake, he always corrects it. I do still believe both of the candidates are exceptional. I'll be fine with either or, but my vote's still going to Ben right now. So thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Senator Miucci.
I will say, while I have, I guess, slightly more experience than the new senators here, because I joined some point in January/February, so I'm not as experienced as other senators here. I don't know either candidate Livingston or candidate Tapa personally, but from what I've seen, sitting in these meetings and learning the ropes as I went, Senator or ex-Senator Tapa feels a lot more confident, not confident, a lot more suited for the role. Because Livingston is very charismatic. I'll give him that. Very confident, very charismatic, and we all saw that during his speech. And I agree with that. But that is not a necessary asset for this position. For a speaker, you don't need that. And the tools, the assets that Tapa has is a lot more suited, plus the experience he already has. So my vote still goes to Tapa.
Thank you so much. Senator Hillstead.
Call the question.
Thank you. There's a motion to call the question. Is there a second? There's a second from Pete Briggs. You can take this time to write down your votes for one candidate.
Thank you.
I just want DC right now.
Awesome, we'll take a couple minutes before we enter into the voting.
You know I'm.
Go around and collect votes.
I was gonna say now I need to get like lots of them. Grab as many as you want. There are so many boxes full of.
I lost.
I know it's hard for next year, cause I guess like with school supplies too, like I love how it's not.
Oh, all through.
If you go to so many offices, you'll get what you need.
And then folks on Zoom, if you could send it over to me in the private chat.
Cause I was gonna say, yeah, like I've been using my notebook for the past 2 years. Yeah.
Thank you.
I use like a binder clip to section of the other section.
Oh, that's actually really smart.
Stuff from last year I sectioned off and you started to, and then I can split the class.
Right.
I just told you.
Hey, you're giving me new ideas.
Also because I love like the jewel, like the big ones, like the ones that they're not. Oh, yeah. And those things are
used on the set.
No, they are. They are.
like I possibly can.
No,
Or do they like throw it out in the crowd like a concert?
Yeah.
Oh,
This is my CFA, so I just binder clip it.
So.
Flip right.
Oh, so like.
I did that for my calculus class and I also,
How much?
I like to have these things for each chapter. I just flip down all of the old ones.
You have to class.
So then I can flip new ones.
May I?
Good luck.
God.
Oh boy.
Okay, yeah, wow.
That's like my favorite movie.
Yeah, it's like.
I struggle with
Yeah, I struggle with like, yeah, if you have like one subject one,
Yeah,
and like
and it's a
across the back, just one subject.
That or not that.
That's where you get.
Yeah, but then I
That's a cool
realized.
ass.
I can't handle that.
Did you? Awesome.
What do you think of the?
Just book video.
Like that? So that
Yeah, I feel like something like that.
Are
you kidding?
Any chance I can get?
Or like my left, my.
I've been talking about
The ones that I just took, like not my STEM related classes. For all my STEM classes, I use the big one.
I was gonna say you have to with STEM.
That was an April.
Math and
I saw it
CS
because I saw the same thing and I was so good.
So many.
I texted the
Like I was being
source on
asked,
this.
like,
I need to know.
what
So this movie came out and he was like,
It's a new program.
look at the dates.
We'll see.
Like it's a
Look around.
brand new.
And I'll be
They
like.
just did their first.
I feel like.
Wait, no, there were three. They had one fall semester, one this semester, 8 next semester.
Oh, Raymond, yeah, we'll watch it together.
So.
I'm really excited.
Cause yeah, I've heard everything under the sun around with softball.
I ran. They wanted to. She's very full circle. You can
millions of calls.
They're the same.
Put him in a chair for 8 hours. So he's
Oh,
You want to know he's incredible. Talent speaks for itself.
We will come back if we have everyone. Awesome. Alrighty, folks. We have not had an election. We still have not received the 60% votes required to reach the threshold. At this point, we will revert back into discussions about the candidates. I will see if there are any points of discussion. So we will enter into another period of discussions before we go into voting again. If we could make those discussions quick as well. Is that a motion or?
It's a question. So, since the senator next to me left, does his vote just not count or what?
Their vote would count for the vote that they've already cast.
Okay, gotcha.
Their vote will not count moving forward. That vote will be counted as an abstain, and that is what we've done for every one of the absent senators for the meeting. So for the continuation of the meeting, their vote will be counted against the candidates. So we have not received 60%. For clarification, we need 15 votes on one candidate in order to elect a speaker. I'll yield to John if you had any.
Yeah, that's just for the 60%, it's gotta be 60% the entire, so even if they're absent, they still count in that pool of 60% that you've gotta have, so that's why that number 15 is not changed.
And folks will need 15 votes on one candidate before we adjourn for today, and that is the only business item we have for today. So we will enter into a period of discussion. Any members who are wishing to speak on either one of the candidates, please raise your placards and I'll recognize you in the order to see. Senator Cumming.
So being completely transparent, initially I was for candidate Livingston, but kind of after hearing some more personal testimonies, as well as I believe experience and different grade levels do play an important factor that I wasn't aware of since, as I previously stated, I am new here. So kind of hearing more of what Senator Dietrich said, I kind of cast my vote now towards candidate Thapa because I feel like he does have more of that experience and that prior experience and is able to compose himself in a way where he does have that history of being here longer.
Senator Ide.
Thank you. I'm just gonna essentially yield to redundancy for everything I've said already. I think it really tears me up to have to pick between these two candidates just because I feel like if this was just on their own, both of them would be fantastic candidates, but we have to pick one. I still believe that candidate Thapa is the best choice just because of his experience in everything as of now. He's worked diligently and they have similar workloads as of now, you know. Thapa is the member of one of the higher members of the esports team and candidate Livingston is the VP of urban studies thing. I can't exactly remember the name, I apologize, but so they have similar workloads, but and knowing them, I think time management shouldn't be an issue, but in their current skills and abilities, I think that Thapa is the best choice and I don't want a hung jury sort of thing. So I would strongly encourage a Thapa.
Thank you, Senator Morris.
Going off a previous speaker, I'm also new, and I had a very similar revelation with changing my vote to Thapa. I think I did that mainly out of the fact that there's clear experience where he is setting up things, doing things, advocating for things when it's necessary, speaking generally neutrally, and I think that is a very good point. Mainly because that's something we need out of a speaker and not somebody who may be charismatic and might be a good president in the future. But, yeah, I yield back.
We'll strike that comment about the president, but Senator Dietrich.
I just wanted to bring up the fact that the former speaker basically backed one of the candidates. I would also ask, without lowering my opinion of you, the newer senators, to potentially consider what the more experienced senators have largely said, with the exception of two people who openly have said that they are biased. As much as I do like Ben, and I do very much, I also don't mean anything bad about the fact that, you know, he does kind of get flustered. It's just not the right skill set for speaker. I think Ben would be an amazing president or vice president someday, but not a speaker. So that's it.
Thank you so much. I'd again strike those comments about future potential positions. Senator Riggle.
Something I haven't heard brought up a few times is that I think candidate Tapa made very, very clear that he is willing to put in the work to learn things like the Robert's Rules of Order. I find the Robert's Rules of Order are very important, especially in situations like this, where we are under a time schedule and we need to follow our things perfectly. There have been multiple times where we get sidetracked for something or other. And I trust that candidate Tapa will do everything in his power to do all the research he can to see what is allowed under the Robert's Rules of Order so that things can keep moving smoothly, as well as ensuring that everyone has their voice heard properly. That being said, I yield to redundancy to Senator Ide, and that is all I have to say on the matter.
Thank you so much. Senator Hillstead.
I just want to say we are dealing with a wonderful problem right now. We have two phenomenal candidates for this position, and in their own rights, they're each qualified. Then again, I just got to take some time. I would like to. I mean, we probably shouldn't because it's already going past time. But motion for like a 3-minute recess. I think.
No.
Yeah. Then I just need some time. I'll call it a question though.
Call to question. We'll take some time to collect all the votes if we're calling the question. There's a motion to call the question. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any dissent? Any dissent to calling the question? Seeing none, assuming unanimous consent, we shall enter into a period of voting. Please take your time as you cast your ballots. We'll take some time as we go around and collect the votes.
But thank you.
So hopefully white small. Let's get some white small guys.
Died anyway.
Will a new pope be elected?
Why didn't you tell me this twice sooner?
I look at elected votes via democracy. I'm sorry, that just seems so random. The Catholic Church is talking about it, and the elected votes do block it.
Oh, okay.
That's so interesting.
We should have read.
He also helps
Your question mark? Let's just take some like
The new Suicide Squad. I like the James Gunn.
I don't think you have to be full-time to
I still think
funny though.
Matt might agree now. Because he said gay people are bad. Yeah, literally. He was just like,
If we did, then
let the people exist. Monumental. I got literally.
waste our time though.
The guy like Superman being more.
Yeah,
no, it's
it's
more
hard to go into something and you're like, I'm literally running.
And stuff.
Yes. So don't worry. It'll be okay.
I think
They know where we are.
I agree. I think he's making, well, I mean,
I think like you're a less serious concept.
you'd have to be, okay, calm down.
Like this guy who's like fighting like an alien fighting like aliens. You know, it's like
It's been fun though.
and I think this is gonna be a more grounded conversation for him, but I think like Superman just inherently is a wacky concept. It's like Aquaman. You know, like you can't have like an Aquaman movie.
I actually don't.
You're never gonna watch like man, this movie.
Yeah, she's giving it into
Thing that I knew was.
Yeah, I don't even food there either. My friend's Sid asked me and I'm like, I don't know. They don't tell me things. I didn't know when food was playing. I was gonna be giving me a back portion.
See
I did not know that. Nobody told me. It's like, he went down, guys. I signed up for this like weeks ago.
This is just because coming to hear him talk about
Last year, I went my first year.
Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't food I don't.
Well, I'm trying to stop off. So,
You know what I mean? Like too much of the funny, like.
I wanna say there will be food. I am not.
Can we just flip a coin, Roshit?
No, we're missing a mall.
Point. What are we missing?
Mall.
I understood it as a prize. Oh,
This was Yoda.
It was okay.
I don't know how to pronounce the last name. Yoda head.
like, who did the prize?
So if it's at like
Couldn't see another.
68, this is why we
He does so much better with this. I was honestly hoping.
No.
Would do like. After the success of the Baker, it was like released dog test for like the first.
Is that a motion? We're not back yet.
Release the vote count.
We're not back yet.
We have 16 people in this room.
That they can do.
We would have to get like 90. Why can't that change?
We have,
Do we actually?
well, we had 19 votes cast in the last election.
Oh yeah, online people too.
Correct. We have one folks online. We had 1 and 2 votes cast that are not here in the room. We'll wait for them to get back if either.
Yoda head left. He's out.
That's alright. We'll come back, folks. Alrighty. This time, we have had an election. Congratulations, you as a Senate have elected candidate Thapa as the speaker with 15 votes cast for Senator Thapa. They've received the 60% threshold of the elected Senate to be elected as the next speaker for Student Senate. If you like the suspense, you can call both of them.
I mean, I think you normally call them back in like we've had an election.
That's okay, we'll announce again. This was our moment.
You want.
Okay.
You want the ground effect. So like what we have, like in the DCU,
Like,
or did you want like the goofy like science, like alien?
That was very much.
I don't like
the
it at all.
80s, you know.
Why did that take so long? I don't think our last speaker
Val
was
Kilmer, Batman. It just doesn't fit the current culture. Obvious people.
This might be a hot take. I would even say Batman does not deserve to have a place in the Justice League or anything like that. Like in the current DC.
Alrighty, I believe the two candidates have had intensive discussions just as we have had inside of this room. And I am glad to report that we have had an election. Congratulations to candidate Thapa, you've been elected as the next speaker for the 93rd Student Senate. We can all clap. I hope all the candidates know that this was a really intensive discussion that happened. All 3 of the candidates are equally qualified. And as the outgoing president, if I can say a remark, I'm really excited to see the enthusiasm and the involvement from every one of the candidates. It's really exciting to see students getting involved and showing up. So I'm really excited to see all of the work, the amazing work that all of you will do in student government next year. With that being said, if our newly elected speaker would raise their right hand, it will take me just 1 minute. Thank you so much, Kendra. If you would raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Dikshan Thapa,
Do hereby swear
do hereby swear
to represent, support, and serve
to represent, support, and serve
the students of Minnesota State University Mankato,
the students of University of Minnesota, University of Minnesota Mankato,
the students of Minnesota State University Mankato,
the students of Minnesota State University of Mankato. It was a long day, guys. I'm sorry.
in student life and academic needs,
In student life and academic needs,
and to uphold
and to uphold
the mission,
the mission,
Constitution,
Constitution,
and bylaws
and bylaws
of student government.
of student government.
I so affirm.
I so affirm.
Congratulations, Mr. Speaker. With that being said, I invite you to take over this seat as I empty it for you as you continue the rest of the agenda for the 93rd Student Senate. Thank you so much, guys.
Snacks for you. Sit down.
I was like, where's go?
I have a motion.
Yes, Senator.
To table the rest of the agenda.
Second. Second.
Seconds, seeing seconds.
Wait, I dissent.
Yeah.
Oh, you dissent.
Yes.
You dissent, okay, please dissent.
Okay, I do want to make this comment. All we have left on the agenda is vacancy announcements and just general announcements. So we
Yeah.
have like 5 minutes max. So if y'all be here for 5 minutes, I'd be much appreciated.
So is there still any dissent? Yes. There is still any dissent.
I have an announcement to make. It's really important, guys.
So we have vacancy election for 04/30 to 2025. We have 3 senators for resident life, 3 senator College of Allied Health and Nursing, 1 senator College of Science, Engineering and Technology for vacancy. We have no new business, no old business, and no senator reports. Is there any announcements? Yes, Senator.
All right, guys, I have an announcement to make. In exactly 10 minutes, Take Back the Night starts in the ballroom. Please join us. It's gonna be great. You guys can win some cool stuff. Thanks.
Your turn. Rolla.
Senator.
Oh, yeah.
Good afternoon. For those who don't know me, my name is John Bulcock. I serve as one of the assistant directors in student activities. I advise fraternity and sorority life, and I'm also the advisor for student government. So I will be a common face for you around at every Senate meeting. I also will work closely with your cabinet and expanded cabinet. I tend to serve as a resource in helping you accomplish your goals, work on your projects, try to figure out how to navigate things. And so that's kind of the role that I serve in. I don't work with everybody necessarily directly hands-on unless you have something to come and bring to my attention. If you're part of the cabinet or the expanded cabinet, you become one of the coordinators. We will work very closely together. But again, that doesn't mean that you can't come to me. So please do. I do want to mention a couple of things for you to put on your calendar. There is a joint retreat that takes place with other student leaders across campus. We would ask everybody around this table to put August 17th and 18th on your calendar.
Or is it 18th and 19th?
It's 17th and 18th.
Okay, so Monday and Tuesday.
August 17th and 18th, okay? Those are the Monday. Nope, okay, so then it's the 18th, 19th. It's the 18th, 19th, Monday and Tuesday before classes start in the fall. We will have an off-site, off-campus overnight retreat. And so I would ask that you please put that on your calendar and plan to be here. We will gather here on campus at about 9 o'clock that morning,
and we will take
shuttles out to a campsite for an overnight retreat. You will receive further instructions later, but I do know that people fill work schedules, travel schedules, and all of that kind of stuff. You'll hear from your executive leadership, but attendance at that retreat is expected. So the 18th and 19th, the Monday, Tuesday before classes start. I also tend to bring to your attention some other announcements for the other areas that I work in, being student activities. I work with part of the CSU staff as well. Monday, May 5th is the late night breakfast during finals week that will take place at 9 o'clock down in the Mav Ave area. That's free and open to any and all students. And so we do encourage you to come to that. And Senator Riggle already announced Take Back the Night. I will be joining there as well. So I look forward to getting to meet you and to work with you. For those who are on the 92nd Senate, just an update. I have gotten the final fee approval memo to Dr. Jones for his support and forwarding on to President Inch for the student fees that you have approved or that the 92nd approved and that will be proposed for next year. So last week you voted on the 92nd voted on a strategy for the banding of those student fees, and that has been forwarded on to the president for approval. So that's where we stand. We will see where that goes. Otherwise, I will yield or stand for questions.
Is there any questions? No questions? All right, seeing none, we'll move forward with
I
the
will-
announcements.
I'm gonna yield to former President Rochette Narala.
Alrighty, thank you so much. Yeah, we both can talk a little bit. I'm here for announcements, but I do want to share a couple of comments in front of all of you. If y'all don't know me, I am Roshit. I am the outgoing student body president, and I want to welcome you all and congratulate you all for your first order of business as the 93rd Student Senate. Congratulations, this has been really tremendous. You will have lots of meetings that will probably be long and you'll be engaged in a lot of discussion. So it's really healthy that you guys were able to discuss and come to a conclusion together as a team. I do want to highlight, even though I am the outgoing president and we do have an president already elected, I still have my office over at CSU 280. So if you all have any questions, please feel free to stop by the student government office if you want to have a chat or if you just want to talk. I did have a note from Vice President Jay, who wanted to mention how proud she is of each and every one of you for stepping up. And for the new Senate, we're really glad to see that you're all in good hands with the executive leadership. And we're proud that we're leaving the student body in all of your hands. And we'll be more than excited to see what you all will be up to. Particularly Vice President Jay and I will probably be returning. I'll probably be returning next year. Vice President Jay will for sure be returning next year. So we'll keep a close eye to all of the tasks that you'll be doing next year. I'll yield to my speaker, Youngberg.
So proud of all of you. You all did such a good job. Also really proud of all of you for being elected. So good luck for this year. I unfortunately will not be returning, unlike my counterparts, but I have faith in all of you. You will all do good. If you do need anything, please feel free to reach out. I am literally one email away if you do need anything during your time. And if you're a part of the 92nd student government, please see your emails. That's it.
There's a special treat. We stand for any questions? If not, are those questions? No, thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Amazing work.
Thanks so much, guys. Is there any other questions or agendas? Yes.
All right. I'll be super quick. If you guys don't know me, I am King Yap. I will talk your ears off. So if you don't like people who talk a lot, I apologize in advance. But all I will say is, can we give a final applause for not only former President Roshit Narala, but also Vice President Rebecca Jay and Speaker Kendra Youngberg for their role in their work.
Thank you so much, Senator. Are there any other announcements? Yes, President.
Yeah, so just make a couple clarifications. The retreat will be on the 18th and 19th of August. So we'll start at 9 a.m. on the 18th. Just keep that on calendar, keep that in mind. I do want to say congratulations to all y'all again. Like, we got through our first meeting, our first point biz. I think we did an amazing job. I also do want to say congratulations to all the candidates for speaker election. I know all of them did amazing as well. I look forward to working with all of them in the future to see where that goes. So thank you all.
Other announcements? Seeing none, we'll move to roll call. Senator Leon. Present. Senator Miochi. Present. Senator Heidever.
Yep, here.
Senator Kabad. Senator Narula. Senator Dittrich.
Here.
Senator Morris. Here. Senator Rees. Senator Ahmad?
Here.
Senator Newgen. Here. I'm really sorry if I'm butchering your name, guys. Give me some time to learn all of them. Senator Anderson. Senator Cummings.
Here.
Senator Smith. Senator Hall.
Yeah.
Is it Hodge?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, you're okay.
Senator Bourgeois. Senator Connor.
Knauer.
Senator Johnson. Left. Senator Stitch. Senator Regal. Senator Helsted.
Not here.
Not here. Senator Song. Here. Senator Ide.
Present.
Senator Gepper. And then Vice President Catholic.
Here.
And lastly, President Colleran. Okay.
Present.
Present. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. I officially call our meeting for today adjourned at 6:29. Thank you.
By the way, Chairs, if I didn't make it clear, I talk a lot, that means I also like to answer questions. So if you're anything like confused about shit.
Bro, I'm so startled right now. You know, I think it's
Congratulations. Give me like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw this away.
Okay, let's meet back at the
I did vote
office.
for Ben, but I look forward to working with you. It was a hard decision.
It was indeed. We were talking about how everybody was just edging us at this point.
You know, like, we went through like 2 or 3 different vote counts.
Oh man, yeah, honestly, it was a tough fight.
And then Andrew, question for you. How does coordinating?
Okay, so is
Oh, so you
Yeah, but I did join a research team for
I still have my office until the end of the year.
Okay, I have my own office at esports, don't worry.
Thank you.
Oh, perfect.
So I don't have to speak to anyone. Okay.
I don't know who was logged in on Zoom. You could probably end it from the thing over there.
Gotcha.
like 200
You know, I mean, May 7th, so my only request is not before May 6th. Yes. I'm
Yes.
across the board.
Yeah, exactly. There's always one thing you give me back.
Y'all did a great job.
And then last question, is there anything I should?
Congratulations, Speaker.
Thank you so much.
I look forward to working with you.
I look forward to working.
Yes.
We will get to know each other. You'll get to study and know the processes well. There's some learning to happen and all of that, so yes.
I'm still struggling. I was not expecting.
Yeah.
I know, I'm still strong.
Yeah, so it'll be, yep, we'll get to learn some stuff, so, okay.